All right, tonight we're diving into a single baseball game that really tells a much bigger story. We're at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field for a classic, the Chicago Cubs versus the Philadelphia Phillies. But this isn't just about 9 innings. Oh no, it's about what happens when two teams on completely opposite paths finally collide. Let's get into it.
And that's really the core question here, isn't it? Because this wasn't just some random game on the schedule. It was a total pressure cooker, a moment where these two teams, heading in totally different directions, had to face each other head-on.
And you just can't make the contrast any more obvious than this. Coming into this matchup, the Cubs were absolutely on fire, riding a 5-game winning streak. The Phillies, well, they were in a free fall, stuck in a 5-game slump and just desperate to stop the bleeding. This whole story is about momentum. So, to really understand this game, let's start with the team feeling all that pressure. For Philadelphia, this night at Wrigley was less of a ball game and more just a series of compounding frustrations. And it really started with one of their key guys. 0 for 5. That was the final stat line for the Phillies' designated hitter Kyle Schwarber. In baseball, they call that an OFer, and let me tell you, it's just a brutal, confidence-shaking kind of night for any hitter out there. I mean, just walk through this with me. It starts with a foul out, okay? Not great, but you shake it off. Then a swinging strikeout. You can almost feel the frustration starting to build. Then a strikeout looking. Ugh, that one really stings. You feel totally helpless. A ground out. And then to end the whole night, another foul out. 5 chances. 5 times sent back to the dugout. That is a slump in human form. And the struggles weren't just at the plate. Not even close. The Phillies starter, Nola, he had a really tough night. He only lasted a little over 4 innings, and in that time, he gave up 5 earned runs on 6 hits and 4 walks. When your ace can't find his groove, it puts this immense pressure on the entire team, right from the very first pitch. Okay, so now let's flip the script, because on the other side of the field, it was a completely different story, a totally different vibe. While the Phillies were struggling to find anything that worked, the Chicago Cubs, well, they were doing just about everything right. This headline from the Associated Press really says it all, doesn't it? 2 names jump right out at you, Rea and Swanson. One guy controlled the game from the pitcher's mound, and the other, he broke it wide open with his bat. And right here you see the other side of that pitching story. Colin Rea was just dominant for the Cubs. I mean, look at his line compared to Nola's. He pitched deep into the 7th inning, gave up only 1 single run, and just kept the Phillies hitters guessing all night long. That is exactly how you anchor a winning performance. But every great story has that one turning point, right? That single moment where everything changes. For the Cubs, that moment came early, and boy, did it come with a thunderous crack of the bat. So let's set the scene. Picture this. It's only the bottom of the 2nd inning at Wrigley. The Cubs are already up 1-0. There's this buzz in the air, you know, that feeling that something big is about to happen. So the Cubs get a couple of runners on, and that just cranks up the pressure on the Phillies. Then their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, steps into the batter's box. The crowd is electric. The pitch comes, and then the swing. 424 feet. An absolute towering shot to center field. The second it left the bat, everybody in that ballpark knew it was gone. Just a total no-doubter. And just like that, it's a 3-run blast. What was a super tight 1-0 game is suddenly a commanding 4-0 lead for the Cubs. This one swing completely changed the energy and the entire direction of the game. Now, if you're a numbers person, check this out. It's brilliant. Before that at-bat, ESPN Analytics gave the Cubs about a 60% chance to win. Okay, pretty good. After Swanson's home run, that probability leaped all the way to 85%. That right there is the power of one huge moment. But like we said at the beginning, this game was about so much more than just one win or one loss. It was about where these two teams were heading in the grand scheme of the entire season. Let's zoom out. So for the Phillies, this loss, their 6th straight, was a huge deal. It dropped them to 4th place in their division, a full 7.5 games out of 1st. A slump like this can dig a hole that is just incredibly difficult to climb out of as the season wears on. But for the Cubs, it's the exact opposite story. Their 6th win in a row catapulted them into a tie for 2nd place in their division, just 1.5 games behind the leader. They are right in the thick of the race, building the kind of powerful momentum that can absolutely define a season. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. This one game at Wrigley Field was a perfect snapshot of just how powerful momentum is in sports. You had two teams on completely different paths. One was desperate to turn things around. The other was just trying to ride the wave as long as they could. It just leaves you with that one big question. In a game of streaks, how long can either one last?